guys. Oh, excuse me. I'm back. So, yeah, I'm back from Linga Seva, which was 8 days, 8 days of Seva at the different consecrated spaces around the ashram, and it was pretty incredible. Let me tell you, I suppose, what I did. And so there's 3 different groups. You get split into 3 different groups and you rotate, so everybody gets an opportunity to serve at the different spaces. And just being around these lingas all day, it does something to you that I really just can't describe. It's definitely to be experienced. The first post that I was at was the Surya Kund. So the Surya Kund is like essentially like a pit, so it's pretty low below ground. There's a lot of steps to get into it, and then there's like a pool of water. So the men go into the Surya Kund, and there's 3 lingas in the water, and they've been specifically energized to be slightly more masculine, so they are designed for men. And then there's also the Chandra Kund, which is same kind of thing, going down steps into a pool with 1 linga that has been consecrated specifically for women. And the idea behind it is that you spend at least 7 minutes in there before going into the Dhyana Linga to meditate. So you're in a different state, essentially. The water's really, really cold. It's really, really refreshing, that's for sure. Especially in the heat. And so, us, the Linga Sevas, that's what we're called, really, it's such an opportunity to spend so much time in these spaces, because it's the whole day. So most of the days for the last week, essentially you're holding namaskaram or namaskar, namaste, whatever you want to call it. And so you're constantly uniting both the polarities within yourself, and putting yourself aside, essentially. So the divinity if you don't know what it means the divinity in me bows down to the divinity in you. And you literally see thousands, tens of thousands of people coming through to the center. Some come as it's a tourist trip for them. They're just wandering, curious about it, wanting to explore. Others come in a completely different way with a real sense of devotion. And all sorts. You get all kinds of people that come. And, we get assigned tasks like welcoming them in, guiding them towards, there's videos, like orientation videos that explains, they're about 2 minutes, that explains what they need to do in various languages. So, which is really great, actually, just to help people understand what to do here and how to make best use of the space. And so you're guiding people. There's a footwear stand where everybody leaves their shoes, and so you just guide them. And Isha's very particular about the arrangement of shoes, so Sadhguru always wants them nice and neat. You can't leave your shoes here or there and anywhere. It has to be nicely aligned. Simple things. guiding people into the kunds. And so I was in the Chandra Kund for a little while, for a day. And, you see these women coming down. It's a lot of stairs. And, they're big steps and a lot of stone going into this, descending into this pit to take a dip in this freezing cold water and spend some time around the linga and then come out. And it was just such a blessing to be around these people. I've got no idea who they are. Their sense of devotion really just blew me away. A lot of the women, they are afraid of water. They are petrified when they get in. They don't want to go in, but they do. So how it works is you go have a shower, you put a robe on, and then you go into this into the kun, or the pool. And so there's once you go down the big steps, big rock steps, stone steps, whatever they're called, then you go slowly descend into the water. And a lot of the ladies would just take, a few steps in and just be so afraid and holding on to the rail and not wanting to let go, but so wanting to go and touch this linga that's in the water. And there's a wall along the side, like a ledge essentially. So, just helping them, holding their hand as they actually walk. You can walk in there. The water's probably till about here, also on me. And they're shaking, and they're determined to go and touch this linga. It was something else to see that. And then, when they come out, they are just so incredibly grateful. And I didn't really do anything. And, to see how they are when they come out. I mean, it is freezing water, and they're just, you should see their faces are just, filled with gratitude. It's really incredible. And even older ladies, they can, they're not exactly, agile and mobile, and they have problems walking, yet they want to go there, and they are determined to, and they will struggle to even get down all those steps to get to the kund. And the gratitude and the reverence that they have, it's really beautiful to see. There's also, in the Surya Kund area, there's also a Sadhguru Sandini, which is essentially like this, think of a plate box type thing, with Sadhguru's feet imprinted in there. And then there's vibhuti in there, which is like a consecrated ash. And so being around the Sandini itself, you, as people, they come up. So as they come in to the space, downstairs, they get guided to, the Surya Kund. There's a Naga shrine as well there. That's another consecrated linga. Then they come up these stairs, and then they go to the Sadhguru Sandini with vibhuti. And so, you ask them to take some vibhuti if they want to. And so in South India, how people apply vibhuti is like they plaster it on their forehead, on their neck, on their whole body. That's they don't miss a spot. Which is kind of funny. And so, there's just sitting next to the Santini and guiding them to use their ring finger of their right hand to put it between the eyes, at the pit of the throat, center of the heart, and behind the earlobes. And yeah, they just, as they come up, they get some, they're so reverent. It was nice to see. And just being around the Sandini as well, like after my volunteering activity finished, I just sat there for like hours. it wasn't quite an hour. It was about 40 minutes or so. Just because I could just be there, wanted to be in the space, wanted to imbibe whatever is just being exuded. Everything's just so alive and vibrant, and it does something to you just being around these lingas. Yeah. And the next post, I was at Adiyogi. So there's a big statue of Adiyogi that's pretty far out of, like it was from the main area. So at this big Adiyogi statue, there's also a linga that's there with the Saptarishis. So in yoga, Shiva is the first yogi, Adiyogi, and so the 7 people that he gave or expounded these teachings to are known as the Sapta, 7 rishis. And so this linga is there. It's like in this temple area, all open walls, the big statues behind it, and you can you go in and you can walk around, or you can sit, and there's a chant that's just constantly being played there. And spending, for me, I've been to these places before, but I don't, spending that much time there, suddenly you can't help but open up in some way. And it's almost like a key or a door is just opened, and then when it's opened, the door's open. So you're not as closed. And yeah, it's pretty special, with the 7 yogis, the 7 rishis that are sitting there. And for us, it's Agastya Muni, who came to the south of India to expound the teachings of yoga, or the methods to self-realization. And that was a wonderful experience. Also, the valuables counter is part of this. So people will, when they come into the ashram, they need to, outsiders that is, they need to deposit their mobile phone before coming in. So, there's a whole counter for that. People leave their bags and valuables and things like that as well. So, yeah, you check in their bag, give them a token. It's pretty straightforward. And it was nice just to see people coming from so many different places, all over India, people from Rajasthan, from everywhere. And some of them just come for a day and just want to see it, want to experience it. So that was nice to see. And yeah, and then also they count the number of people that visits the ashram. So, there's 10,000, 20,000 visitors on a Sunday. That's not uncommon. So it's a lot of people that are coming through. What else? So my Siva finished at the Dhyana Linga, which, what a space. it's like I felt like I left myself there. Um, so the Dhyana Linga is what they say is Shiva or Adi Yogi, the first yogi sitting in meditation and with all 7 chakras energized to their peak. And it's just empty, like this void. Empty, not void is not the right word, just empty. It's very beautiful, you know, like a lot of people come through. So as they come through, they sit in batches most of the time, just so everybody has an opportunity there. So what happens is you'll come in the main gate, you'll sit on one side, and you might be waiting for the next batch to go out. So it happens in 15 minutes. And so as people go into the Linga, Dhyana Linga, you guide them around just so they're seated, and they need to be seated for at least 15 minutes. So every 15 minutes a bell will ring, and then if you want to go out, you can. If you want to sit and meditate for another 15 minutes, you're more than welcome to. And yeah, that's how it works. And guiding people through it, you know, just seeing them, you know, give them a namaskaram, their face just lights up. They go and take a seat. People bring their kids and all sorts in there, well, kids and babies in there. And so, you know, they need to be seated by the door, so it's completely silent, except for twice a day when there's Nada Aradhana, which is an offering of sound to the Dhyana Linga. And yeah, so there's singing bowls that are played, and also there could be someone playing an instrument or singing, like a sound kind of, think of that. Not so much words, but just more sounds. And I just feel so grateful to, you know, to be able to have the opportunity, because really we're looking at it, the brahmacharis or monks look after all these lingas, and we just get in the way. you know, like we're really more of an impediment than help to them. It could be much more smoothly done by the brahmacharis, but you know, Sadhguru opened up this opportunity for us to do. So to be able to volunteer in this space, and what an opportunity it is. I don't know if I'm making much sense, or I'm just completely blown away by it. I feel very immensely grateful to just be a small part of it. And yeah, it feels very, I feel very emotional since finishing it. And there's a couple of evenings where we washed the Dhyana Linga, and you know, everybody's chanting. It happens in a very precise way. It's just incredible to have the opportunity to be in a space like that for that long, to make yourself into an offering in that space, to simply by, putting someone else's needs above your own, someone else's desires above your own, essentially dissolving yourself. And you're just on this high that's, I really can't describe it. Yeah, I feel very different after that. And it was just 7 days. So they were long days. We'd start at 4:30 and we'd finish anywhere from 9:30 to 11. And the next day you do it again. So you've got to wear a shawl, which Anthony took some photos of himself in. So yeah, you get one shawl and it needs to be washed every day. So when you come back, you're like washing it and making sure, like hand washing it and making sure it's dry for the next day. You've barely got time to do anything else really. Meals happen in the 2 batches. If you miss the batch, you go without, which happened to me, and which was, like when I get hungry, I start to get angry, and so it was a really good thing for me, because especially in the mornings I get really hungry. Evening time it's not really a thing, but mornings I get quite hungry. So brunch is at 10, and I was partnered up with someone where I was on the second batch, so I was going at the 10:45 batch, and so so she got back at 10:40, unintentionally, of course, and so I had 5 minutes to get there, and I ran just so I could make it, and literally as I was like at the bottom of the steps to get up picture, the doors closed, and I was like, no. So that was that. Yeah, and I had to be back at 11:15, so they do an open batch for volunteers at 11:10, so there was no chance of that happening for me. So yeah, that experience of going, I can go without, like I'm not going to die, it's fine. We eat very well here, so it's not a thing at all. Yeah. So that's a little bit about the Linga Seva. Wow, this is getting really long. What else has been happening? That's really it. Yeah, we had a culmination yesterday, and just to sit with the brahmacharis, spend that much time with the brahmacharis, and to see how devoted they are, how whatever needs to be done gets done. They're up before us. They're in the Dhyana Linga for hours before we are, and they go to bed after us. So I don't think these guys sleep. Maybe like 1 or 2 hours, maybe 3, no more than that. They can't be. They're fully functional. They are more than fully functional. Yeah, they're pretty incredible. Yeah, and it was nice to be around people like that. So there's the Linga Seva experience. If you ever get the opportunity, do it. You'll be tired, yes, but it is so worth it.